The Europa League final, the immovable force, Bayer Leverkusen, who seem like they will never lose a game, are going up against the side that have never won a European trophy in Atalanta. So what is going to happen in Dublin? Is it going to be history for Bayer Leverkusen on their course for a treble, or are Atalanta finally going to lift silverware after a very long time? Get your score predictions in the comments down below. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, as we will also be doing a watch along for the Europa League final. Now, let's get to the preview. So before we get into more of a tactical preview and a prediction, we gotta talk about the narratives and storylines heading into this final. And for me, the number one is Gasperini. What Gasperini has done with Atalanta. They were just a mid-table side, but Gasperini has taken them to a Champions League quarterfinal, multiple Coppa Italia finals, and they're going to be playing the Coppa Italia final before this Europa League final. So Gasperini is a magician, constantly selling his best players. From Højlund to Cuti Romero, you name it. Gasperini has always had to evolve his team, go in a new direction. They used to be a free-flowing attacking team. They would score 90 goals a season. Now it's a bit more structured, and still it's heavily reliant on a great attack. And Gasperini deserves a lot of plaudits, and he's a man who's never won any trophy with Atalanta. And to bring them their first trophy since 1963, major trophy, would be absolutely insane. And finally, the 66-year-old Italian manager will get the plaudits he deserves for all of the miraculous work he has done with this side, constantly, like I said, selling his best players, and to do it with guys like Zappacosta, CDK, Ademola Lookman, Scamacca. Like, Gasperini just turns dust into gold. That's what he does, and he deserves a lot of plaudits. But this final is going to be the one where he truly defines the tactical genius he is, because he's going to have his A game against Bayer Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso. But there is more with this Atalanta side, and that is now the play of Scamacca. Yeah, Scamacca, who was a flop at West Ham, struggled, and I mean struggled at the beginning of this season, and since March, he's one of the most informed players in Europe. Yeah, Scamacca, look at the quality of goals he has scored. Look at his overall play with this link up, with this hold up play. Everything Scamacca is touching right now, Ballon d'Or-esque. I'm not saying he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Relax, people, relax. But Scamacca is playing fantastic. And unfortunately for him, he cannot play in the Coppa Italia final against Juventus. So this right here is the most important game for Scamacca. If he can show up on this final against a Bayer Leverkusen defense that, yes, they do leak goals with Jonathan Tah, Kuzuno, and those guys, Scamacca should be thinking to himself, I scored 2 against Liverpool. Why can't I get 2 against Bayer Leverkusen? And he's going to have to show up. If he doesn't show up, then Atalanta are in for a very long evening, and he's been playing excellent recently, so his form is absolutely vital for this game. And with his hold-up play, then that allows the likes of Koopmeiners, CDK, Lookman, Ruggeri, and also Zappacosta down the right side to then flourish in the attack. And Scamacca is the piece that Gasperini has been trying to figure out all season, because Gasperini has tried a bunch of different formation, bunch of different lineups, but now he found the guy to get him the goals, and it's this guy, Scamacca. So let's see how he's going to perform in this final. And another dude who's really performed a lot this season is Koopmeiners. I mean, Koopmeiners, look at the goals he has scored. His goals catalog, que golazos, que golazos, que golazos. So he's another vital part for this team, where it's him and Ederson in the midfield. Maybe Koopmeiners is making those late runs into the box, and if you give him any opportunity 30 yards out from goal, he's shooting. So Koopmeiners is a vital piece for Atalanta in their quest to win the European trophy for the first time ever. And he's come up with crucial goals, and he's going to have to play at an A level. And there's been rumors of him maybe leaving Atalanta this season. Well, if he can perform in a Europa League final, those rumors will then heat up even more. And he's been playing excellent for all of this season for Atalanta. But their opponents are Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen are strictly juju right now. Nobody can explain this. Nobody. Not some voodoo doctor, not even the world's best chemist can explain this to me. Bayer Leverkusen have perfected the arc of late goals, late drama, and a never die attitude. And they still, at the time of recording, have not lost a game. 49 games, which is now a record in UEFA club competition history, alongside the Pokal and alongside the league. 49 games. What Bayer Leverkusen are doing this season is unprecedented, and if they do this undefeated treble. It might be the greatest footballing season ever. Yeah, I said it. It might be the greatest footballing season ever. Because to go without losing a single game, and if you look at the games, the amount of late goals, I think they've scored like 25 goals past the 80th minute. Do you know how absurd? Some teams don't even score 25 goals in a season, and they're doing it past the 80th minute. Now, Xabi Alonso, if he secures a Europa League alongside the Bundesliga and the Pokal, I mean, this is one of the greatest first full seasons in the history of football. Because Xabi Alonso, it doesn't matter. Like, the team are always creating chances. Yes, they could get frustrated even more and even more. But it just seems like, hey, we got it in the bag. And the one thing I rate about Xabi Alonso as well, always switching, always rotating the lineup. Everybody feels involved with this project and with this season. So, hats off to him. I mean, what he is doing is truly absurd. It is absurd. And hey, Xabi Alonso, you got a tough task though, because Gasperini is one manager you don't want to go up against in a single game. You don't want to go up against this manager. Because look at this record, people. 49 games. It is the mere fact that they've won 41 games. It's not like 15 draws, 20 draws. 41 games they have won. And if they can secure their first Europa League since 1988, do you know how that is just sick? It is sick in the head what this side are doing. And a lot of their players deserve credit, from Florian Wirtz to Hinkapie to Stanisic now recently coming up with the late goals. Patrick Schick on the road to this Europa League has come up with late goals against Karabakh. I mean, these guys in the Europa League, you know, they struggled a little bit against Karabakh. And Karabakh, I mean, how they didn't win that tie is beyond me, being 2-0 up in both legs. Yeah, semifinals, struggled against Roma at times, but they were just by far the better team. If they were just more clinical, Bayer Leverkusen would have cruised. And I mean cruised to this final. But they said, hey, we want to make a movie. We want to make a Michael Bay film. And they're doing it with every single game this season. It is just insanity. It is insanity. But you gotta love it, people. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy this season from Bayer Leverkusen. But they still got 2 trophies to secure on this magical season. I gotta highlight Granit Xhaka again. I mean, Granit Xhaka is balling out right now. He's just absurd how good he is at the moment with his progressive passes, reading of the game. Everything Granit Xhaka is touching right now is gold. It is gold plates, gold tires, gold steering wheel, you name it. Just, hey, if he has a Lamborghini, it better be gold. Because that is Granit Xhaka right now. And the turnaround from Arsenal to this, that's why you just gotta appreciate players. Maybe they're not working out in one place. All right, we go to another club, new setting, new lifestyle, boom. And Granit Xhaka, I think him alongside Wirtz, they've been the 2 best players for Leverkusen this season. And he's so key in that midfield. Without him being fit for most of this season, would Bayer Leverkusen still be undefeated? I know they have all the late goals, and we got to highlight Stanisic to Schick and all these guys, but Granit Xhaka is balling out. Now, he's going to have a tough job against Koop Miners and Ederson, who are 2 very good midfielders. And, you know, we're going to talk about tactics very soon. So, Granit Xhaka, he's going to have to play at the elite level for Leverkusen to win this final. And my God, if he does it, what a turnaround in his career. So, let's get to tactics now. A very intriguing part of this final. So, this is more of the setup of both teams in the semi-final against Roma and obviously Atalanta against Marseille. And as you can see with Atalanta, it's basically the 2 wingbacks, they're creating all the width in Ruggeri and Zappacosta. And then you have Koop Miners. Look at number 7 Koop Miners. This guy ain't a midfielder. He is basically a second striker alongside Scamacca, Lukman, and CDK. I think Gasperini should go with the exact same lineup. That one worked perfectly. You have obviously Lukman, who's able to drive at defenders one-on-one. CDK, who's sort of a false 9 guy. He's showing good signs this season. But in the final, he's really got to step up. It cannot just be Scamacca and that's it, or Koop Miners. You got to raise your game, CDK, in this final. And then you got to look at Derun and obviously Ederson and these guys. Atalanta are going to have a very tricky job because when you're going up against Leverkusen, the one thing they will do is leave you space. And look at what Zappacosta and Ruggeri do. They push up all the way up the field, and Ruggeri scored an unbelievable goal against Marseille. It was class. So the 2 fullbacks are going to be key. And then obviously defending against Grimaldo and Frimpong, who we know, they're just deadly in themselves. They're deadly. So it's very intriguing to see how Gasperini is going to set up. Because on paper, it was like a 5-2-3 formation. And then you see in possession, they're just basically 4 attackers. That's what I love Gasperini. Just tactically so good. Xabi Alonso, we know what he's going to do. He fielded a basically B team against AS Roma in that second leg and still got the job done. The problem for them is Wirtz looked very injured. I mean, he was basically hobbling in that last 5 to 10 minutes against AS Roma. So he's got to be fit. And do you go with Schick or Boniface at striker? I think you got to go with Schick. I mean, Schick in the Europa League, the guy's prime Robin Van Persie. All the critical goals, late goals. Schick has been really good in the Europa League. And then who do you pair alongside Xhaka? I think it's going to be Andrik, of course. So a lot of intriguing tactical ideas for both managers on how do you nullify each other. I think with this game, it's basically going to be Xabi Alonso, keep possession, and Gasperini is just going to do it on the counter-attack, similar to what he did at Anfield, where Atalanta were so deadly with their one-touch passes and how they were able to progress with the ball. Basically, they always went down the wing, and that caused trouble. And the one thing that causes trouble to Bayer Leverkusen when watching their games is crosses. It's going to be intriguing. I think, everybody's going to pick Bayer Leverkusen because they're undefeated, but Atalanta are one of those teams you don't want to play against in a one-off game. They are very difficult to, 1, to break down, and 2, they have attackers who can threaten you big time. So, let me know your thoughts, people. What should be the lineup for Bayer Leverkusen? What should Gasperini do in the attack? Should he still roll with Adaman Lukman, CDK, and Scamacca? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As now, we get to the prediction of the Europa League final in Dublin. Should be a great game. I'm super excited to see how this game sort of transpires, because one thing we know is even if Atalanta are 2-0 up at 85th minute, the game ain't over. It should be over, but this is Bayer Leverkusen. These guys are just demonic, right? They are so crazy. So if you're Atalanta, you gotta understand, 1 goal, 2 goals is not enough. It is not enough against this Bayer Leverkusen team. And how will their nerves be? They're obviously going to be playing the Coppa Italia final a week before this game. How will they handle the whole situation, preparing for a final? At least that will give them a good preparation. But it's very different. You're going up against Bayer Leverkusen, who have just been on a roll this season. And how is Gasperini going to really tactically prepare for this game? And for Bayer Leverkusen, Leverkusen just gotta be clinical. They cannot keep wasting 20 chances, 30 chances a game. Eventually, it's going to catch up. And could it catch up against Atalanta? Who knows? That's why I love this game, because Atalanta are just a difficult side to play against, and Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso will definitely know that. They're not going to take this game lightly. And for both teams, 1, Atalanta have never won a European trophy. Leverkusen haven't won a European trophy since 1988. It's going to be history on the line for both sides, and should be a great atmosphere. Everything about this final, it just screams like we're going to get one for the ages. So my prediction is, am I going to be stupid enough to go against Bayer Leverkusen? Nope. And I'm going to go with Bayer Leverkusen to win this game 3-2. Yes, both defenses have been good this season, but the attacks and the midfield for both teams are so good, and they're playing with such confidence right now that we could see a goal fest. I'm going to go with Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not going to say it's going to be 2-0, Atalanta are up. If somehow Atalanta are 2-0 up in the 60th minute and Bayer Leverkusen win this game, end the season. I mean, just end football, because then that will be the crowning moment for Bayer Leverkusen in this totally insane run that they're doing right now ahead of their own cup final against Kaiserslautern. But my final prediction is 3-2 Bayer Leverkusen. But I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong, because I would love to see Gasperini win a trophy, but I just don't think it's going to be in this final. Maybe the Coppa Italia. But let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Will Atalanta lift their first ever European trophy, or are Leverkusen just going to be unstoppable? Thank you all for watching. There's the Europa League final preview and prediction. And of course, we're going to be doing a watch along for the final. So join me for that. And if you want to do that, you got to subscribe to the channel. And remember to hit the like button. The like count is 200 likes. Remember to join the Discord. It's a link in the description down below. And have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.